face in the crowd, but you don't seem so far away. The only thing between us is empty space, empty space. And even when the music is loud, I'd rather be no other place than here with you now, here with you now.
Today we're going to be installing this guy right here. This K&N filter with the Momentum Performance VQDE intake. I already bought this K&N charger kit and oiled it. I degreased it with this stuff right here, diluted in water. The bucket, just left it, turned it, and washed the shit out of it. So we got the car again. It's my friend Joey from last time. And alright, so basically you're gonna have to lift up the car and probably take out the wheels just for comfort's sake. And then I already got the passenger wheel off. So basically you're gonna come in here and you're gonna remove this bolt, this one up here, this guy, him, and then you're gonna move all the bottom pieces holding this piece of plate together, which I'm gonna show you now. Then when this comes off, there's gonna be 3 or 4 bolts here that hold the front bumper to the, I guess, the chassis or whatever. So those are gonna have to come off, and you're gonna do this on both sides. So I'm gonna do this on both. I'm gonna take this guy off and take the wheel off and all that mess that you guys don't need to see. And I'll get back once I already got those things off, and I can show you where these bolts are. All right. So once you remove, basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna go into the car and you're gonna remove the first row of bolts. Not all the panels, just the front row. That way the bumper can be free. So then you're gonna come to one side. This is the driver's side. You're gonna remove, push back this panel, and then I don't know if you guys can see it. My shitty wiring for my LED front thing over there. There's gonna be a couple bolts there, up there. There's 3 of them. I'm not exactly sure if I can get it with the camera, but there's gonna be 3 of them on there. And then you're gonna pull those out on all sides, on both sides, and you're gonna pull, which I already did, these 6 guys up here, and then the whole bumper is just gonna pull forward, and that's it. And then it's actually installing the oh yeah, this guy, the bolts are basically here. So there's 1, 2, and 3 like that, and there's usually one down here for the light that's holding it as well. So I'm gonna pull those out and then just take the bumper off. Basically, there's the bumper right there, and there's all my other. I took this guy out just in case, but basically, I have a LED fog light, so I had to remove those. So this you guys won't have. So as soon as you remove these bolts up here, there's actually one for a bracket that goes on the other side. So there's 1, 2, and then the bracket on the bottom like that. So you remove those, and then as soon as you remove these guys as well, whole bumper just slides forward, and that's it. You might have some resistance from these clips right here, but just eyeball it and make sure that these are fine. Don't damage these, because these hold the alignment to the bottom of the lens. So don't bend this down or up or whatever. Just make sure that you just pull firmly. So yeah, after this I'm gonna go and I'm gonna remove my intake box. Oh, and remove your battery, since you're gonna be messing with your MAF. I already did that because I have LEDs. So remove your tube, remove your box, unplug your MAF. Oh, for your MAF you will need a security Torx. See if this thing can zoom in. These are security Torx, which I do have. If not, you can always buy them at I'm not sure if Harbor Freight carries it, but Auto Parts usually they come in a kit of for like 25 bucks. You get all sorts of, and I'll show you when I use them. But yeah, these are or you basically can do is, if you take a a little Dremel or something, you might be able to cut that nipple off in the middle, but that's risky because you might lose the bolt. Or you use a reverse dog tooth socket and you break this socket off and then you just put in new bolts. But that's it, it's whatever you want to use. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I mean, I'll film it just so you guys can see how to remove the intake, because I don't think I've done that. So give me a second, I'll be right back. So move the airbox. One bolt, and remove this wiring here, this loom, that way it doesn't. Let's get the flap. Go. Now normally there's, on most of these, there's also a bracket here that goes to the intake, but mine broke, so mine is just sitting normally. But you will have a bolt right here that you have to remove, which I'll show you once I remove it. So remove this guy. Just be careful with the MAF sensor. That's something you probably don't want to damage. And when you're removing tubes, the easiest thing to do is shake them a little bit or twist them, and that'll release the tension on them. And just unplug the MAF, and careful that you don't lose these clamps. Just push down. That's it. And then there's also a hose that's connected here on the bottom. Let me grab it. It's right there. It's this guy right here, which I've clamped because my hose broke and I haven't gone to Auto Parts to get a new one, but you will have a hose down there that you will have to remove, which in my case it's going to be on this side. Ah, there it is. Which, it's not a big deal. Mine's cracked, but that just goes to the back of the driver's side valve cover for an intake. So you got this. This is the Z tube, normal Z tube. The G's basically have, I think, more ribs here, if I remember correctly. Maybe not, but whatever. We don't need this crap anymore. And then this guy just comes right up. You just lift. There's two pins actually, that hold it in place. And then from here, the only thing you're gonna need to remove is the MAF, very, very carefully. So let me put this stuff over there and replace the MAF. So the Momentum one is this one right here. You're basically gonna be replacing the MAF from here to here. So take a T20 security Torx, which I don't know, let's see if it'll, it's a small hole right in there, which you might not be able to see it. Maybe if it'll zoom in. Oh, there it is. There's that hole. That's the security Torx part. So it's a T20. Just unloosen these bolts. These are very, very light, so don't over torque it because you will break it, as some people have already,
like me.
Yeah. So remove these two guys. Luckily though, Momentum did a good job and they made this a one-way, so you can only install them in one way. So it's basically idiot proof. These are the ones that came with the Momentum intake. This is a used kit, so there are things and scratches somewhere, but these are discontinued, so they're getting harder and harder to find. So basically, oops, not like that. Very carefully, you take it out, put it right back into this one. Actually, you have to flip it. My mistake. Yeah, on these guys you have to flip it. So it's not a... These are actually... I forgot that these guys are not the flat type, which basically means that the sensor part is on the side, so it doesn't matter which side it's flipped. Some of them are actually in the front, and that's the ones that if you flip it backwards, you're gonna get like a bad reading. But these guys are on the side, so it doesn't matter which side they go on as long as they're on their side. And then I'm just hand tightening this. Not want to strip this. This doesn't need to be snug that much anyway. So there we go. And that's it. That's the sensor install. And then take the old bolts, put them in this, because you never know when you might have to go back to stock. So I'm keeping all my stock stuff just in case. So now we go and install this guy. So let's go. So, basically, I'm gonna come in from underneath here. I can't remember if the instruction said that we have to remove. Well, I'll remove it anyway. Might be.
Okay.
If you want, pause it. That way I can go get the right tools and stuff. Oh, yeah, I do have to remove that. Alright, so in order to remove this guy, because the intake is going to go through here, you have to temporarily remove this bracket, which I'm tightening, and now I'm removing. So you have to temporarily remove this bracket from here. That way, this guy can come out, and your intake is going to go through that. So I'm going to keep this out just for now, and I'm going to clean it. Alright, there's nothing sharp in here, so, and it's plastic, so it doesn't have to worry. So basically, you take off the back section of it. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this guy first. Let me put a little bit of just put a little bit of lithium grease, not too much, just so I can use it to slip over this a lot easier. There it goes. So it's not a big deal if you use a little bit, but just don't go overboard, as usual with anything. So take the rear clip, install it. This one's a little bit more. There. So it's already in. The only thing I'm going to do is slightly tighten it, because this probably will end up having to get moved in some form or another. So it's just there. So then I'm going to take this guy right here and slide it. Actually might have to be removed as well. I'm just trying to avoid having to remove the strut bar, because I don't like removing it. It's a pain in the ass, and see, when I said that we might have to remove that, so now we're gonna have to remove this guy again. basically. Let's see. Alright, there we go. So I'm gonna install this first. That way it just hangs there, and then you can install this guy. There we go. There you go. So now you can come in here and install that. Before we do that, we need to put the second piece of hardware. Now, so now it's like a mixture of three things you gotta do. You gotta line this up right. It goes in like that. And you also have to come in through here and attach the back of the line. And this goes like this too, which is gonna be even weirder. Let's see, how does this go? This goes around like that. So, yeah, that's how it goes. So, then I'm just trying to make sure that this thing fits before I go crazy. Yeah, make sure you test everything, because test fitting is important. So you put that there, and we got the filter and the last two guys. And then so basically, it's gonna go this like this. You have to kind of do it reverse from just the way it was made. So loosen that up a little bit, and then stand there, move it. And the whole unit goes back. See what I mean? Like you have to start from here and then work your way back this way. You might have to turn this piece. There. So, more or less, you have to line this hole with this hole, and then this guy right here, I'm gonna have to end up bending, simply because the person who I bought this from was in an accident, so this bar may have been moved. But again, I'm not sure. I'm still messing with it, seeing how the fitment goes. But this is pretty much how the fitment's supposed to sit. Also, maybe that I have it a little bit too far into. Something like that. That's how it's supposed to fit. So, you have to work with it until you get it. And then once you get it, you finalize it and you bolt it down and you'll be set. MAF connector. So, alright. So basically this is how you're going to run it. Then the filter goes in through here, which I'm going to install before. Like you install the filter, push it, put the bank, put the bracket, install it in here, push it all back, and then kind of a pain in the ass. But I don't know, Momentum makes it look kind of easy when they install it, so we'll see. And then don't remember to put this bracket has to go, so this bracket goes like that, and then like that. Bracket goes in first. Don't forget that, not the other way around, because it won't align. And that's it. That's pretty much what you have to do for it. And so I'm gonna go ahead and align everything, and then I'll show you the final one once everything's connected, and then we'll be set. Cool. We have it installed. The K&N filter installs a lot easier from the bottom up. So from this way, you just lift the filter, and just be careful with it. It rides really close to the radiator, so that might be something that I have to fix. But this radiator is old and probably will be replaced soon, and for a couple little dings, I don't give a shit, because most of it is actually in pretty decent condition. So you tighten that, and then there's a lot of play that you got to be messing with up here. And with this clamp, I clamped it first here and then inserted this whole section into this tube part of the intake, and then I bolted it down here. So bolt this, insert the the connector, tighten that, make sure the plug in the back is tightened, put in your battery, and now we're gonna start it. So
I'm gonna record it here too.
okay, cool. So so you're neutral, clutch in. So I'm running, the noise that you hear is probably the transmission mount. You got a nice little air suction. So very nice. All right, so then basically you're gonna do the reverse install, just put everything back together, and you're ready to rock. So enjoy that. See you guys next time.
Slowly drifting away, wave after wave, wave after wave. I'm slowly drifting away, and it feels like I'm drowning, pulling against the stream, pulling against the